What's going on, everybody? Mark here with another episode of The Science of Fishing. We have my favorite person in the world and someone that I look up to and that I live nearby down in Miami, and just I've heard so many stories. I've had so many opportunities to talk with him. It's, just someone that I look up to in the fishing world, and you guys need to know. If you don't know his name, I'm probably sure you do know his name, but Mr. Ray Rosher, Captain Ray Rosher.
How are you?
Ray?
You only like me because we fished when you were in college in the fishing club at UM.
We did.
That was
we
the
did.
best.
It was one of the best experiences, and you took us on and you taught us, and
Yeah, fun. Little did we know we'd be here today.
I know, right?
So cool. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
You've done a lot.
It's come full circle. You know what I did last week? Actually, the night before I came to Cabo, I went and the UM Fishing Club hosted me and had me as a guest speaker.
Nice.
So it all comes around full circle.
You got to talk to Rob West. His son just went to UM and toured last week, so we got to get him in.
Absolutely.
We can do that.
100%. Well, Ray, we're in somewhere where I think you have a lot of history and legacy, and you've left an impression here that's changed fishing here forever, and we'll touch on that. But how does it feel for you to be back in Cabo?
It feels really great.
Yeah.
It was 20 years ago when I first came, and it changed my life too. I mean, as much as anything, I didn't invent anything. I just kind of brought some ideas that maybe weren't being used, and they worked.
Right. Well, let's talk about that a little bit. You fished those IGFA Rolex tournaments back in what years?
2005, 6, and 7.
And was it the first or second tournament where things changed?
We fished the first year I was with Scott Siegel and his friend Tom.
Yep.
And Charmaine, and we fished 3 practice days. And the first day we fished lures, kind of 50%, caught a couple, wasn't impressive. Second day live baited Gordo Bank and just, tried getting ahead of the finning fish. But the rule in the tournament was 10 live baits per boat. Computer draw on a boat, so you never know which boat you were going to get. They were trying to keep an even playing field. And so day 3, I had brought about 50 ballyhoo. I'd never caught a striped marlin, so this was all new to me. I just figured they were kind of like an overgrown white. So brought some ballyhoo, and we put them out, and lo and behold, it worked. And so the next hurdle was I only had 50. So I went to Peter Wright, who was the director of the tournament, and kind of casually asked him, hey, we can only get 10 live baits today, but is there a problem if I get a few and kill them ahead of the tournament and use some dead baits? And he's like, yeah, no problem. So I proceeded to go get 200 and brined them and took them in the shower in the hotel and processed all night, and it worked. We won.
Did you stink the whole next day?
That's just a natural smell for me. It smells like money.
And there you go. There you go. I like that. Smells like money. I mean,
good thing I'm not a pig farmer.
Yeah, right? Well, you guys won it how many times after that?
05 and 06, and the funny thing was every boat we'd get on practice days, and then the tournament days were usually all different boats. So then we'd fish a sponsored tournament the day after. So it'd be 8 or 9 days of fishing here, every day a different boat. So by the first year, they all thought we were crazy.
Yeah.
And we kind of squeaked out a win. It wasn't dominating. And the second year when we won, all of a sudden they wanted every dredge, they wanted every deboner, they wanted all the tools and phone wire on the spinners and things that made it easy for us all to not backlash or reel. I mean, that was all legal, and we did it. And I even got a call from Steve Lastly. Hey bud, what's happening? What are you doing?
Was he fishing with Anthony Shea at the time?
No, he wasn't in that tournament, but he heard about it. The first year maybe a fluke. Second year, that's where Steve and I became friends,
right?
And we've been friends ever since. So, anyways, it was funny because we remember we got observers too.
Right.
So observers were seeing it, like Robert Collins, who went on to win. He's, I think, the only guy that won the inshore and the offshore. And all these people witnessed it. And by the third year, we came in 12th.
Wow.
So that meant the cat was out of the bag. A bunch of boats.
Everybody knew.
The other funny thing that happened, and it was really kind of cool, is I started getting phone calls from my charter business in Miami.
Yeah.
And I had probably at least 10 foreign groups that would come.
Let's pause for a sec.
Okay. Cattle have left the pasture.
Yeah.
We love you guys, but you're loud.
Yeah, very. You're a cow farmer instead of a pig farmer.
That's it. Basically what happened in 2005, I brought, lures, live bait stuff, kites, brought everything, not knowing.
You brought kites down here?
Yeah, I didn't know, and then we had no wind. So that killed that idea. But I'd never caught a striped marlin, so I didn't know what to be prepared for. And that was kind of my role with Scott Siegel, was to kind of be there to fill in any gaps so we could be more competitive. And
Right.
and day 3, I had like 50 ballyhoo I brought, and next thing I know, they were working. So Scott and I had a powwow, and he was all in for dead bait. So
Yep.
Peter Wright actually happened to be the director of the tournament, and I said, hey, Pete, I know we only get 10 live baits a day, but do you mind if I use some, dead baits? He's like, yeah, no problem. So I proceeded to go get 200 tinker mackerel and deboned them, and brined them, and then took them that night and deboned them and chin-leaded them, and
In the
we
shower.
had swimmer in the shower where I knew I could clean me and the hotel room, and it worked, and we won in 2005, not by a huge margin, so nobody really paid a lot of attention. And the first year it was funny, most of the boats we got on thought we were crazy, and we'd even have to kind of ease into it. They'd put their lures out and then give it 30 minutes. Scott and I would talk about it. He spoke fluent Spanish, and I would say, okay, see if we can show them, we can maybe switch. And we had to be very delicate, and we squeaked out a win the first year, and then the second year it was better. But now 8-9 days of fishing each year, now we're up to 15, 16 teams had seen, meaning crews and observers and so on, seen it. So year 3, there was no secret, and I had about 10 or 12 different groups from the IGFA come and fish with me in Miami, and they would tell me up front, do you mind sharing what you did? And you got to remember that tournament was so cool. It was like the Olympics. We represented the United States.
Really?
You go into the Finisterre Hotel, and there would be flags of all the countries hanging off the balconies, and it was just, you felt really rich being there, because you were meeting people from all over the world who many I became friends with and have lasting relationships with.
Wow.
So it was a super cool experience. But the funny part was, third year, 12th place. So but it was cool because everybody was catching more fish and having more fun.
That's my point. You innovated that dead bait fishing in Cabo. You were the guy that brought it here.
I didn't invent anything, but when you went to the tackle shops back then, there were no dredges and no ballyhoo.
And now it's all over the place, right?
Yeah. Well, I think it's more, now it's
More
just kind of
prevalent.
more out in the open.
Right.
I saw a boat come in with a strip teaser today, and the guys were like, look at that. I go, that might be mine. I don't know.
Well, that might be R&R.
No, because we gave our gear away every tournament.
Oh, really?
Every year we gave away all our stuff to
so
maybe
you probably have a bunch of stuff here that you fished with that's still
we
here.
pretty much gave away everything. That was kind of the greatest gift you could give a crew who saw success and a new vision of how to fish, and that it made me happy to leave some gear with locals here, and ironically Minerva watched Dakota, who's now 20.
Yeah.
She babysat him when he was just born, a few months old, because we brought him down.
Really?
Because Charmaine and I were fishing together, and we didn't want to leave him. This was before Cheyenne was born.
Wow.
So Minerva actually babysat our son, who's now 20.
Wow.
So talk about lasting relationships. I was in her shop today.
Oh my goodness.
So cool.
That's crazy how things come full circle. And like you said, it's 20 years later now.
Yeah.
You're in Cabo. You came back. You stopped fishing for a while, on the traveling circuit. But you have the Miss Brit back in Miami, back home, and that's been a lot of fun. And we'll touch on that in another episode. But right now, you're back in Cabo. You're back in the fishing game, and you're hanging out with Lights Out. How has it been fishing with those guys and doing the whole SFC circuit?
It has absolutely been my privilege. They're a great family. Even the ones that last name doesn't end in Carmichael, they're all family. Yeah. All of them are just, decades-long friends, and, Tyler and Kyle were roommates in college. I mean, it was connections that are really deep, and I feel very privileged to be a part of that, for them to accept me and put up with the old guy. So, I'm really loving it and feel so happy to be here.
That's awesome.
It's been so fun.
Are you going to start tinkering with anything else while you're here? Do you have anything up your sleeve that we don't know about? I mean, don't tell us.
Yeah, I mean, we got a few products, dredge baits and, widgets, a lot of widgets.
Widgets.
Yeah.
Okay.
New
Maybe you'll
rigger
tell me
clips,
after.
new kite clips. We got a lot.
So you're testing a lot of different,
Not
different
here
products.
in this tournament necessarily, but some products that'll help here, and
Right.
But
well, good deal.
Yeah.
So, you're here. You've been, like we were talking about, you've been a mentor to so many different mates over the years that have become captains, and you've seen it come full circle. You now are some of their mates when you travel.
Oh,
How does that feel? And in that you've not only left a legacy on the industry in terms of what you build from a tackle perspective, what you've innovated from a innovation perspective, but also from a mentorship perspective. Talk to me about, what your approach is to these guys that are, trying to learn from you, and how have you been able to, cultivate success in your underlings or whoever you have, working for you?
Well, first of all, the tackle business has just been trying to make a little bit better widgets. We're not curing cancer. It's not that life-changing in terms of changing the world. It's just stuff that makes me happy, and I use it, and I enjoy the creative part of it. But the real privilege for me is honestly the gift of all these people that I got to fish with, a lot of young men and some women that, gave me their 100% effort to learn and be the best they can be. And it's really, like you said, turned into a full circle experience where many of them have gone on to, run boats or, become mates on bigger boats, then run bigger boats, and then ultimately I end up and go fish with them for fun or even as a mate many times.
Yeah.
So honestly, I'm the lucky one.
Do you think when it comes full circle, even though you're technically the mate on the boat, what kind of deference do these guys give you in terms of, like, they know who you are, they know what you've done?
If you were with me yesterday and saw me backlash one, you'd realize I'm not that special.
Oh, come on, Ray. Still, I get it. Everybody has those moments, but like,
listen, I always say that every day is a chance to learn, right?
Right.
And you'd be shocked. I learned from some of the youngest guys, little things.
Yeah.
But I just go, I never thought of that. And Tucker and Kyle, Mateo, Tyler, all of those guys are just solid up-and-comers that are just going to be, big names later. And, if they're not already today. And that's a real privilege to get to hang out with them. And, and for them to actually, accept me with my handicaps. I'm not young and spry, but I try to use my brain a little more in my back. And, we just have a healthy respect, and that's just it's the best.
That's good. That's all you can ask for, right? And speaking of Tyler, you've now fished this season with him. How has it been seeing him develop and, like, be running the program? He's the captain. He put you guys on an insane bite, 47 white marlin. Like, well, you weren't there. I was with you in,
that's right,
in July.
Yeah,
we were in ICAST
we were
together.
like, oh my God, wish we were there.
But seeing
so
something
proud
like
of him.
that, like,
and it's funny. He's a super casual guy, no ego, and very impressive. And I just can't tell you how cool it is to be able to interact with him and have no ego and no drama. And I just feel like he's a brother. And it's, he puts you on him. I've watched it all season. I keep waiting for the bad tournament. I haven't seen it. So
you guys pre-fished yesterday. You guys had a good day, right?
Yeah.
How many fish was it?
21.
21 striped marlin, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
And honestly, we saw a lot. So trust me, we use those opportunities to learn and to practice. And hey, in that situation, what could we do different?
Right.
So hopefully our ratio will only get better.
Yep.
And man, it's just fun.
That's
all
awesome.
I can say. There's one word for it. It's been a lot of fun.
Well, hopefully, I'm sure the relationship's going to continue, and hopefully you're back with them next year at the SFC tournaments and everything.
Yeah.
You being able to travel through this whole circuit and having R&R, you touched on it already. You've been able to kind of test new products in different areas of, the country, the world now, and I'm sure you have feelers out. And
listen, I'm asking
R&D.
all these guys, what do you think about this? What would you change on that? Yesterday we were, hammering out, because now with 3D printing and we have a CNC machine, we can make our own molds, and CNC die cutter, we can cut things.
Wow.
So we're not curing cancer, but we're able to get creative and make modifications on the fly, and that's the fun part. So I'm really enjoying this chapter of my life. And
that's awesome. You're still innovating.
Well, you know what? I'm still learning, and that's what I want to do till the day I'm gone.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, where did the genesis come from R&R? Was it because of a need for better product on?
There was a high school buddy that said, "Hey, you want to help me out with this?" And I go, "Sure." Rob Hammer. That's where the R&R came from. It was Rob and Ray.
Okay. And so it's not Ray Rosher. That's not where it came from.
Well, I just kept it that way.
It works.
It works. Yeah. They can think what they want. But anyways, it was Rob that really kicked me in the pants and said, hey, you want to do this? I could use your help designing stuff and testing, and he kind of ran the business. And that went on for a year or two, and then, bought him out and just went with it. And again, it was a garage business totally, and it just slowly has evolved over the years. And now it's almost like a real job. It's kind of like becoming a pain in the butt. But
if you're on a boat, there's some R&R Tackle there. When one way, one shape, form, or another. Yeah. I mean, I use your stuff all the time, so I appreciate you.
It works great as long as you don't get it wet.
Right? Like anything else,
right?
That's
what Court Vernon used to say.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, Ray, we're down here in Cabo. You're going to be putting on a clinic, hopefully, teaching everybody what to do. We'll see.
We'll see.
But, good luck out there over these next few days.
Okay.
And guys, if you are tuning in after the results, go watch the highlights. Go watch Ray and the Lights Out guys and Captain Tyler running the boat. Go watch them do what they do best, which is catching fish and having epic historical days. Ray, thank you so much for sitting down with me. I appreciate you.
It's a pleasure.
Absolutely. And if you guys want to go fishing with Ray, go to Miss Brit Charters on Instagram, their website, wherever. You'll go fishing with Ray Rosher himself, and he will, hopefully, most likely, put you on the fish. See you guys next time.